Hello and welcome back to Mama What's Next today. Yesterday, I started my Sunday morning with a lie-in. Morning coffee in my hand, piano playlist in the background, some candles. And I love to read my book and enjoy the slowness in the morning before I start my day. And I love doing that on Sundays. And as I was sitting there, I read my book. And I read the following sentence. Criticism of the project is not criticism of you. You do not equal the project. So I am reading these lines on page 47 of the book Purple Cow by Seth Godin, which I love, and I am getting surprisingly emotional. It's just a small paragraph, actually, in a book filled with observations about creative marketing in a crowded marketplace. Just exactly what we're living in at the moment. And I am reading Safe is Risky. Being safe is risky. Did you ever think about that before? I don't think I did. Not in this particular way, at least. And in the book, Seth points out that we have been raised with a false belief. And the belief is that criticism leads to failure. Well, just think about the school system, or maybe the way you grew up in your family, where criticism led to failure. So in the school system, of course, you are encouraged to be always right. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be criticized. So just think about that in a business context now. A business that is boring, though, won't attract much criticism. So are you building a business that is boring so that you will not be criticized? The business will also not stand out and become highly successful because it's bland, it's boring, right? So by avoiding negative feedback from other people, by staying in this safe space, I am potentially avoiding success? Really? In this moment, I actually realize I am a player in all of this too. When the stakes are not so high for me personally, meaning when I work for other companies, other brands, I will work to be remarkable. And I've often been told by other people, wow, like you're always being so bold, so brave, taking risks. Of course, they are calculated risks, but I am certainly brave and courageous with, the campaigns I create, the decisions I take, the new things I try, because I want to stand out. I want to be acknowledged and recognized. Or, better to say, it's not I want to be recognized and acknowledged. I want the brand that I work for to be acknowledged and recognized and applauded, because essentially I'm doing it for the brand, for the company. Yet, and now this is the tricky part, when it comes to my very own projects that I'm creating and building, I am hiding. Well, yes, apparently staying safe, being likable in order to avoid controversy and negative feedback. So in that moment, I realized that me trying to avoid being criticized is me also quietly sabotaging my dreams. In the end, you can't know if your project will fail or succeed. But in order to give it a fair chance, you have to give it a go. In order to make it extraordinary, you have to get feedback on it, feedback from the market, and feedback on the project, not on you. And that's the important part that hit me so much yesterday when I was reading these lines. We always feel like when we're working on something personally, on our own projects, on our own ideas, our own creations, that it's us personally being criticized, that it's us receiving feedback for us personally, but it's not us. It's not me. When I'm putting something out there, when I'm putting a service out there or a product, I'm actually asking for feedback on this particular product and service. And what I created might work for people or it might not work for people. But that doesn't mean that they're criticizing me personally. that I'm all of a sudden not good enough anymore, that I have created something that I need to be ashamed of. No, we need that market feedback. We need feedback from people that are trying it, experimenting with it to make it as good as it can be. So why are we so afraid? Sadly, it's something that we need to think about, because where are you holding yourself back quietly right now? Playing safe is essentially the riskiest thing you can do. Being agreeable keeps you invisible, and holding back means no one finds you. So sadly, it's important for us to understand that this combination creates invisible ambition. You want visibility and wins, but the fear of judgment keeps you agreeable and silent on the sidelines, like I was often with the projects I created. And it leads to you procrastinating a launch, or softening your ideas or opinions or the words you use in your messaging, or you end up endlessly tweaking your messages. And I see this very, very clearly when I think back of some of the communications that I have created back in the day. And I wasn't the one writing the copy. It was much more bold and much more courageous and brave. And look at us. We're amazing at doing this. We make you look fantastic. We're brilliant. I personally would have been much, much softer, because it was for my own work. I was putting myself out there. Yet my colleague did not. And looking back at the copy now and the post that she had created, I'm like, wow, did we really write that? Well, actually she did. It wasn't me. So I'm like, oh my God, I did this, or I'm doing this without even noticing. And high-achieving, ambitious women often hide their talents and play it safe in their business because we're scared of looking imperfect. And this actually also has a name. It's called maladaptive perfectionism. And it ends up like us being quiet on the sidelines instead of boldly sharing our opinions or proudly showing off our work, even when we so much crave the success and crave so much the impact and the service that we want to give to other people. So it's like you are actually concealing your imperfections. That's what hiding really is. That's what playing safe is. That's what being agreeable is. Perfectionism is a trap for you where you feel you must seem flawless. And it fuels the imposter syndrome, where you feel like a fraud. So you procrastinate. You procrastinate on posting things, on writing things, on taking a video and putting it out there, on sharing your opinions. You soften your messages and you skip chances to avoid any slip up and imperfection. And the more you hide your imperfections, the more you fear being exposed. I know that from myself. And the safer you play it, the more anxious you become. Because is this really you that's talking there? Or is this your safe version? The imposter syndrome and perfectionism often go hand in hand. An imposter may procrastinate, putting off an assignment out of fear that he or she won't be able to complete it to the necessary high standards that we set ourselves for. He or she may over-prepare, spending way too much time on a task that is necessary. So you're either procrastinating or you're over-preparing. Either way, you stay on the sidelines, invisible, quiet. And why is this particularly hard for women now? Women and working mothers, because society pushes women, and we see this much more in the media these days, to be agreeable and perfect. And really think about it. Whatever we do, we're always criticized. We cannot get it right. There's always something. And even if you end up being bold and brave and loud, you're being criticized because you're too bold and brave and loud. So whatever we do, it's wrong. So we should take a little notepad out and write that down, because you can't get it right anyway. So society pushes women to be agreeable and perfect, linking the two issues tightly. And studies show perfectionism strongly predicts these kinds of imposter feelings, fraud feelings. And in turn, that causes more stress and hiding than in men. So what happens is you rework everything endlessly. You stay silent, thinking it will protect you, but it actually keeps you invisible. You need to start sharing the work that's just good enough until fear fades step by step. And here's what Seth Godin knew and what this research also confirms. Playing it safe and hiding, being agreeable, staying invisible doesn't protect you from failure. It guarantees it. Because in business, invisibility is failure. No one can hire you if they cannot find you. No one can refer you if they don't know what you actually do. No one can trust you if you won't let them see you and the work that you do and the impact that you can create. So where are you still holding back? What are you not saying because it might be too much? What content are you not posting because it's not perfect yet? What opportunities are you avoiding because you're not ready yet? Safe is the riskiest place you can be, and I can be. So I wanted to share this little story with you because it was a little bit of a shake-up for me yesterday, and I thought it's worth sharing it with you because many of my listeners are similar to me, and we have similar goals, similar ambitions, and I feel most of these stories are learnings for all of us. And often I'm sharing my journey and my realizations and thoughts with you so that we all together can take a step forward to a more brave, courageous version in the future. And as always, if you are listening and this has been helpful for you, please do share it with a friend. I am very grateful that you're here and listening and supporting. Please subscribe, please give us a rating, and this will help make the show more visible to people on Apple and Spotify. And I am grateful if you joining me again next week. I look forward to spending time with you again. Until then, have a great week. Bye.